Hey YouTube family and friends, in today's video I'm going to show you how to grow monster watermelons. That's right, I'm going to show you the championship setup, and if you follow these tips there's no reason why you can't be growing like a champion. All right, so get ready. So before we get started with all this great information, I want to let you know that this video is being sponsored by Quictent. If you're in need of a greenhouse or a raised bed, if you look down in the description below, I'll have the links, and I also put my discount code so you can get more savings. All right, so this raised bed right here, it came from Quictent, and it helped me out because I have a vole issue. I did some research, the voles can't climb as well. So these sides are nice and smooth all the way around. So there was no vole that was able to climb into the bed, because they are not great diggers, so they don't go but maybe an inch or two from our research. So this helped prevent that issue. So if you got voles in your area, you may want to try a raised bed like this. Now, one of my tips, if you look back in my video, so what I did, I go fishing a lot. I put some fish scraps, fish heads. I had about 5 that I put at the very bottom of this. And so when the plant grew, the roots went down into it, but it was already broken down. I also added my black cow compost. That's what is filling up the bed, and so I believe all those things work. The next thing that you have to focus on, if you want those big giant melons, you have to feed your melons. So I used a variety of things. Now your granular fertilizer breaks down over time, and I love using tomato tone. Even though it says tomato, it still works for just about everything I plant. Look at my videos. I use this for almost everything. So you can use this. This breaks down over time. So that was one thing. And when I started the bed, even though I know I had nitrogen with the fish scraps, I put some blood meal in the very beginning because I want to make sure the nitrogen produced these nice green leaves. And the other thing that I use for my liquid fertilizer, this is immediate, and I use this every week and along with something else. This is my fish fertilizer, and I'll put the links to this in the at the bottom as well, just in case you need to pick up some. My next thing that I use is, I've been using Boogie Brew. I'm not sponsored by them. I have been using Boogie Brew compost tea for years, and I gave this plant that tea every week. And if you need to know how to make it, once you purchase it, I got a video I'll put at the end of this one. This was critical as well, because if you want that big melon, you gotta be able to feed it. All this stuff right here is organic fertilizer. Wait till you see my melon, strictly organic. I also put together a watermelon growing guide that walks you through how I grow my melons. It includes planting checklists and solutions to the most common problems people run into. This is the actual guide I will be using this season, because I'm going to be growing an even bigger watermelon this year. If you want the guide, I'll put a link in the description below. It's available for $29. The next thing, before I show you my melon that's behind me, you want to make sure that you water consistently. Now, I was not doing that at first. I got some wilt issues, and some of that was due to having fungus, but we'll talk about that a little later. But if you're not going to come out and water it, and these things need to be watered a lot, the magic question is, how much do you water? That is going to be different from every situation, but I'll go ahead and tell you how much I watered. Sorry about my throat. I had a long day. All right, so I watered every day once my melon got to a certain size, because it was so hot. In the raised bed, you know it's going to dry out a lot sooner than an in-ground garden. So that's why I had to add more water, and I was not watering enough because we had this big old heat dome. And so temperatures was getting to 95, 96, over 100 with the heat index. And so I wasn't watering enough. So I had to water twice a day for a long time. All right, now it depends on your soil as well. If you have a clay soil, you don't want to water as much because clay is going to hold in moisture and you could drown your plant. So I did the finger test. If it was bone dry, I added water. All right, so know your soil types. So, and that will let you know, hey, I don't need to water as much. But if you're watering in a raised bed and you don't have clay in the raised bed, chances are you may want to double check and make sure you water enough. Using the water system automatic timer helped save my plant, because this plant was dying and I almost pulled it. But before I give you the next tips, let's go ahead and look at this giant melon. I know you want to see it, so let's go. All right, so the next thing you want to keep in mind when you're trying to grow watermelons like a champ, you want to make sure that you prune your watermelons. Let me put that right there. All right, so you wondering why I have this towel on? Because the sun was starting to bake this, and you want to make sure that you cover your plant or cover your fruit, because it will make the rind harder. This is a bonus tip. It will make your rind harder, and so when it gets real hard, it's going to be difficult to let the melon expand. That's what I was told by some big watermelon growers. So I do what they do. If it works for them, then you know I got to try it to see if it works for me, and so far it has. All right, so I saw a little damage from the sun right here, so I had to cover it. But back to pruning. That means if you see watermelons growing all over the place, you want to pull those melons off. Now you want to make sure that you got a melon that is nice and symmetrical before you start pulling them all off. You want to wait till the form looks right. Now I was not getting a lot of melons that were forming right, and I was getting worried. So the tail end of this melon looks kind of weird, but I'm gonna show you another melon in a couple minutes. But I had to go ahead and I try it because I wanted a melon in the competition. So I was pulling all the melons off. It took me about 20 melons that I had to pull off because the shape was weird and looking worse than that. I just decided to go, and I almost pulled this one off, but I said, hey, it's getting late in the season, I gotta go. So once you got that melon, make sure you only keep one melon per plant. I know it's tough, but if you want to grow one of these giant melons, you need to make sure that once you located a melon that you think has the greatest chance, you got to continuously pop all the small melons. I'm gonna look and see if I have one. I know I got a couple over there, but that is critical. That's called culling. All the energy will be going to this melon, and boy, did it do it. All right, so that is another tip that you need to know. My next tip is, you can see it. I have my melon suspended off of the ground. Now, I have grown some big melons before, which I call 46 pounds. This is way over 46 pounds. But those melons were on the ground. They could have been messed up by the bugs that were on the ground. So when you got a melon this size, you don't want all that weight condensed on the ground. And you could get away with it, but I didn't want to chance it. Once again, I listened to people that grow melons like 100, 200 pounds. So I decided to use what their tactics mixed in with some of mine. And so I felt that worked. So if you can build something to keep your melon off the ground for your giant competitive melons. Now, my melons that I eat, I'm not going to too much worry about them being on the ground because they're not going to get this massive. So just keep that in mind. The next tip, I'm gonna go ahead and show it to you. I decided to mulch my entire area because I didn't want any weeds coming up. And so I used black plastic or black landscape fabric. And then I bought some needles, pine needles from Lowe's, and I broadcast it all the way across the ground so that my plants could cling to it, so that they can sprawl all over the place, spread out. And so I didn't have any weeds that I had to worry about going all across the garden, unlike my melons on that side. So let me show it to you. All right, so you can see some of the black landscape fabric down here. Some of my melons are roaming off the side over there, but I don't have any weeds that I have to deal with. All right, so That was a game changer for me, not having to worry about weeding. Now, if I had to weed because of the wind and the weed seeds, this is the only area I had to weed right here. But I really didn't. And oh, I almost forgot to mention, it would be good if you're using a raised bed, but I use this for my in-ground melon too. I use dried up leaves, chopped leaves, and that helped me keep moisture in as well. So mulching your plant will be a great idea, will be a great advantage as well. Every advantage is going to help you. Look at that monster melon. You see the end that I was talking about is not symmetric. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and take you over to the other melon. There's my other melon. It's symmetrical. It's big, ain't it? All right, before I show you that in close, I want to show you my shade cloth that I used because it was getting so hot in July. My melon plants were not looking well because it was super duper hot. So I had to think of something, and you see this cover I made for my melon, and boy, did that melon expand. I probably need to put something beside it, but so you can see the girth and see how big it is. Now, I have another bonus tip that when you're growing your melons, you want to make sure that you look for any disease, because if you have disease like the wilt, the fungus, you want to make sure that you cut those leaves off so it doesn't go on to your other leaves and spread all over. And you can use some organic sprays. I use neem oil late, and I'll put down off the top of my head, I use some of the organic spray that I can't remember off the top of my head, but I try to keep it organic. So once you see that you have any pests, you want to make sure that you deal with those. The squash bugs didn't really mess with my area on this side because I put some traps on the other side. When I'm talking about traps, I put some other plants that they love, like squash plants, and they tore those up, and I trapped them and I killed them, smushed them up. And so they never made it to this side, but they were all on that side over there. And so that was a great help. You may want to use some tactics like that. And I got videos that talk about different things that I've done over the course of my watermelon growing experience, because I want you to be able to grow like a champion, just like me. All right, so let me see if there's any other tip. I thought I had one more, but I hope these tips help you, because I want you growing and having fun growing giant melons just like me. And next year, I'm gonna try to grow a melon that's 150 pounds. That is my goal. So I gotta keep adding to my skills that I have and keep learning. All right, so I'll see you in the next video. Let me know in the comments if these things help. So the video's over there and over there, because I wanna help you once again grow like a champion. I'll see you.